Okay, it's time for workout number 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stay focused.
I don't give a fuck if they call me a torta, a motherfucking beanie cheese taco, a number 5 supersize the motherfucking fries. I'm gonna wear what I want and look good.
Mariela, ¿qué estás viendo?
Nada, aquí jugando. No,
Guys, I got a nickname at work today, and I'm like so excited because everyone has a nickname there, and I didn't have one, and now I finally feel like I fit in. So my nickname is Pendeja, which apparently means beautiful in Spanish, and they're like, hola Pendeja, come here Pendeja. Oh, you look so good today, Pendeja. It's so cool. I'm so happy to have such a loving environment at work. They're so
Yo, what's up? What's up? You know what time it is. Frank Bay in the building. Doing a little boxing talk. Boxing talk is real slow right now. Actually, nothing going on. I think the next event is Pacheco at the end of the month. Off top, if you guys know, Diego Pacheco. And yeah, that's about it, man. Until basically Canelo Alvarez blesses us with his presence. But, you know, the people are hating. People are hating big time on the fight, but it is what it is. You know what time it is. Earl Stevens, salute. You can't be TBE if you're choosing the refs and the gloves. Yeah, that was some fuck shit. I think we all seen that if you were watching it last night. You know, thank you, salute the homie Never Sobers if you fuck with him. You know, yeah, man, it was a shit card. Picasso, a Golden Boy prospect, was on the undercard, and he was against Havenusian that had went I think a year ago against Luis Netti in Fight of the Year candidate. But Picasso, he looked decent. He got the win. White scores, Ziddy what he was supposed to. You know, they're making a big deal about the Ninja Turtle himself, Carmel Morton. They're calling him the next TDE because he's with Floyd Mayweather. You know the whole gambit, man. And the guy's fighting Paletero Mans, man. You know, the guy looked like he just got done making a bacon hot dog and they threw him in the ring. So, you know, take it for what you will. LL, salute LL. This is what I needed after listening to Jimmy and 305. Big, strong men. Yeah, salute BDA as the best, if not one of the best shows in all of boxing. But yeah, they, you know, doing different things. Salute Sergeant. Yo, LL Tubbalard. Who's the Tubbalard? Yeah, so not a lot going on in boxing. In this upcoming week. Okay, yeah, that's right. It is. But last night, you know, it was Floyd Mayweather versus Gotti, the grandson of John Gotti, the legendary gangsta, right? Gangsta's Paradise. Jimmy has always dreamed of Hagler. Jimmy's a cool dude. He knows his boxing. You know, they're from the old school. Salute. You know, they say old heads. You know, I'm not a young man myself, not a spring chicken, but you know, that was before my time, before my day with the Ollie's and Leonards. You know, I'm more of the Canelo era, Oscar De La Hoya era. You know, but you know, it's cool to listen to guys who've seen the sport of boxing. You know, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, Ali's. You know, my uncles. That's how I got into boxing. Is, you know, they idolized Julio Cesar Chavez, Oscar De La Hoya, Hector Macho Camacho. You know, my uncles idolized Ali. You know, it just wasn't my era. And, you know, I hear old heads talk about old school boxing. And, you know, boxing at one time was the greatest sport on the planet. It was literally they call it the poor man's sport, but it's literally was the most popular sport in America. You know, before, you know, football is relatively recent. NBA basketball is relatively recent. But yeah, we're going to talk about boxing, man, in 2024. And the Mayweather effect, as you see on the thumbnail. I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to hop on. But I just thought since nothing's really going on, you know, Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez in the headlines. David Benavidez is hurt. Apparently, he has suffered broken ribs and a hand injury. So, you know, where is it at? Let me get to the visuals. I like to give you guys some things to eat up. So there it is. Canelo Alvarez has blasted David Benavidez light heavyweight debut win versus Alexander Gvozdyk. I think that's his weight class, 175. And you can see he's very different. He can't do nothing with the fighter who retired in 2019. It's different when you're your weight class and fighting with guys in your weight. So it's something we've been saying. Salute, shout out Steve Kim. He said, hold on, David Benavidez has broken ribs. So there it is, man. As reported by Steve Kim. So there it is, man. David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez. That's a super fight that everybody wants, but David has moved up to 175, and now Canelo Alvarez is in the headlines again, talking about that he wants the winner. Salute, Frank Bay. Thank you. Salute, Pounds. A real one. All the real ones always show up. Man, love to talk boxing. As you can see, is white chocolate herself, Michaela Mayer. I think she'll be fighting in September 27th, and they actually headlining. She's the baddie of the day. I know people are split on Michaela. Some people think she's a baddie. I've heard some disparaging rumors about her. That you know what they say. But I don't know. She's okay. I don't know. She looks good, and then she looks kind of like long face. It is what it is. But I'm pretty sure. I think everybody here would hit it. But respect to Michaela Mayer. But Mayweather respect. So I wanted to talk about that, man. It's like, in my opinion, Mayweather was not the greatest. He's not the TDE. He was a fraud. I truly believe Floyd Mayweather was a fraud. He's the reason, in my opinion, boxing is in the shape that it is. The Manny Pacquiao fight was a horrendous, awful exhibition. It came out that Manny Pacquiao had a shoulder injury, and the fight stunk. It was Mayweather dancing around in the ass style, jigging and jiving. Boxing defensively. The hit and not be hit, most skills, sweet science, man. The whole back foot bitch style. And Manny did his best, whether he had a shoulder injury or not. It remains to be seen. But the fight itself, it sold, I believe, 4 million pay-per-views. It's the biggest pay-per-view fight of all time. I think we were all excited. Sports bars, movie theaters, it had celebrities. It was the most hyped fight ever, probably for our lifetime. And did deliver. The fight before that, what made Floyd Mayweather was Oscar De La Hoya. His mega fight with Oscar De La Hoya. And people forget, man, Oscar De La Hoya probably literally created the pay-per-views that we know today with Cinco de Mayo, September 16th. Like Oscar De La Hoya literally created Floyd Mayweather. He literally created Manny Pacquiao, by fighting those guys, giving them the limelight. Oscar could have fought anybody. At the time, Oscar, he was basically a part-time fighter. He fought, say, probably once or twice a year, taking on Bernard Hopkins, Felix Trinidad, basically making all the fights all the time. But, outside, Oscar's been doing some interviews, and he admitted to cross-dressing, and, Oscar De La Hoya is doing clapback Thursday. He has beef with Canelo, but he made Canelo Alvarez, right? And I'm gonna tie this all together. I dropped the link. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to cash out your boy one time so we can continue to grow. I'm gonna get a mic. I notice my audio dips in and out sometimes, but I do have decent headpieces. But yeah, so Oscar De La Hoya, there's a lineage, right? With before Oscar De La Hoya, it was Julio Cesar Chavez, Sugar Ray Leonard. Who else was the Roberto Duran? But people idolize salute El Pachuco. That's right, puro salute everybody coming in, and we're talking about the Mayweather effect. And people say boxing is dying, and I point, and other people point to the fiasco that was Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, right? Because that fight took 6 years to make, and Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, and again, it's all my opinion, and you can love it or hate it. Hit the link if you want to challenge it. Pounds, if Oscar made Canelo, how come he does not make another Canelo? Yeah, you know what I mean? What I mean, Pounds, is that, okay, I know this is a sensitive subject for some of us, and some of us are torn because they're fellow Latino Mexican brothers. Look, man, what do I mean to say? Pounds, you kind of put me on the spot here. Is that Canelo, Oscar put him on the platform. That was Golden Boy at the time. That's how I'm going to bring it back. Is like, Floyd Mayweather fought under the Golden Boy banner. Oscar De La Hoya was the one who promoted Floyd Mayweather fights, right? But during that time, Golden Boy was taking over boxing. He's like, I think, the first successful fighter turned promoter. I mean, Mike Tyson has tried, Holyfield has tried. Mayweather even had a promotion at one time, right? But it's not easy, right? You still have Top Rank, you have the Zone, Eddie Hearn, you have PBC, but there's been a lot of companies that have come and gone, and fighters that they were trying to put on, and 50 Cent tried to become with. I think he had Gamboa. You had Jay Z try to be a promoter with Kodo and things of that nature. I think they even tried to Jay Z or 50 Cent tried to sign Adrian Broder. So they were all trying to copy, make the next Floyd Mayweather with Adrian Broner. We see him trying to do it, Devin Haney. But but that's what I'm trying to say. But all that, you got to trace it back to Oscar De La Hoya, right? Early 2000s, mid 2000s, and then 2014 and on. But Oscar was the most successful, and he's the one that put Canelo Alvarez on. Well, Canelo, I believe he's with I want to say Zanfer Promotions, but he's with a Mexican promotional company at the beginning. But Mayweather was, he started off. I think Mayweather started off with Top Rank and Bob Arum, right? He was an Olympian. They wanted him to be the next Sugar Ray Leonard, and that's the point I was trying to make with the Leonards and the Oscar De La Hoyas, is they were Americans, right? You had Durans, you had Hector Camachos, but they're Puerto Rican, they're different nationalities, and like today with Canelo Alvarez being Mexican, the Americans want an American face of boxing, and that's one thing we've been saying is that that's why they're trying to push the Davina Hankies, Adrian Broners, Tank Davises, Shakira Twittisons. That's why they're trying to shove them down our throats. Salute OG Blaze. That's right. Right? And that's what I'm saying. People brought up Jimmy, BDA, and these guys are older heads, but they know a lot of boxing, and they talk about the time when, boxing was on mainstream television, ABC, CBS, all you had to do, it was turn on your television and you could watch Muhammad Ali. Pay-per-view wasn't around yet. Boxing was the biggest sport in all of America, right? Bigger than baseball, bigger than there was no NFL or NBA. I mean, and if there was, it was like 10 teams and 10 cities. Like, these things had not even become popular yet. And baseball was still going through its phase. Oscar is a bozo. Yeah, you know what? Oscar is really on one. He's rich. He's dancing in thongs with his his wife. We don't even, she's kind of wacky, weird. He's doing his thing. He's rich. He's famous, and he can do what he wants. Yes, he's a bozo, but we have to respect what he did in the sport. And Demons God, what the heck? Canelo pound for pound number one. Yes, he. You know what? And they knock him, and I believe it's because he's Mexican. So the Floyd Mayweather effect. What is the Floyd Mayweather effect? There were fewer. Jose Servino, welcome. Thank you. There were fewer promoting stars and facts. So what's the Mayweather effect? And how it killed boxing? Well, like I said, back in the day, I wasn't alive back then, right? All I know is this era, but all I could do is listen to people tell me how great, but historically, right? There was only 8 divisions. There was no like 154. Some of there's 16 weight classes when there only used to be 8, right? And there was only 1 or 2 belts. Now there's 4 belts, sometimes 5. There's like 10 belts. There's interim, there's mandatory, there's intercontinental. The WBC creates a Jaguar belt. You got a bad motherfucker belt. Yeah, so, with the organizations came a lot more confusion. And then slowly through that, boxing started to die. And you have fighters being able to cherry pick. Like why people like the UFC, right? They like the UFC because it's easy to follow. Because there's and I think welterweight's like 160 pounds. I know they have different weight classes, but they have simple rankings and 1 belt, and the champion is a champion. But what people fail to realize about UFC is there's like 100 other MMA combat organizations, right? But it's just UFC's American, and that's where they make the money, and that's what people recognize. But in boxing, boxing is truly, whereas NBA, NFL is not. Boxing is truly a global sport, right? You can have a Kazakhstan champion, you could have an England champion, you can have an American champion. Now you have like Canadians coming up. 20 years ago you didn't have. Let me add, Puro Stu, are you on? Jump in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you, brother. What's going on?
Okay. Good. Nothing, man. Just not a lot going on in boxing, so I thought I would pick the topic: Mayweather effect, real or hype? Was he TDE? Did he create or kind of kill boxing with the cherry picking? I mean, these are my opinions, but I'll let you cook.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, people blame him for boxing being dead, but boxing ain't dead. American boxing is dead. I've been saying that for a cool minute. He's definitely not the TBE, even though he's one of my favorite fighters. People think he cherry picked. I didn't think he cherry picked that much. I didn't think he cherry picked at all. But that's just me. That's my opinion. But it is what it is, bruh. People don't like Floyd. It is what it is, bruh.
Hey, did you watch the event last night?
Didn't watch the Floyd fight because what the fuck for, bruh? I ain't watching that bullshit. But I saw the fight I wanted to see, which was the Picasso fight.
Okay. How'd you think he looked?
I think it was a good step up. Crazy 8 or whatever the fuck his name is.
Crazy 8.
He's a tough fighter. He's a tough fighter. He knows how to fight. And I thought he tested him, but I thought Picasso did well. I mean, he has some shit to work on, obviously. Before he takes the next step up to the championship level to challenge somebody, but no, he looked good early, especially early. He got a bit tired and stuff. He just got to work on, keep at it in the gym. Look at the film, see what he needs to shore up on, and But no, I thought he fought well.
And so looking at Picasso, what's he at? 122? Is he at 122 or 126?
In a way's division.
And I think he should be highly ranked, right? Do you know his ranking right now? I thought he was
he's probably top 15. He's probably top 15. I think it was an eliminator or it was for one of those regional belts. So at the end of the day, those belts are just for the promoters to fucking get guys their shots and shit. So it's Picasso is who promotes Picasso?
I believe it's Oscar and Golden Boy, but he might be a co-promoter, right? He probably fights on a Mexican promoter, but the Oscar is promoting here in the States, kind of like they do with Munguia. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing. I think that's what they do because he has a huge following out there. I guess he's rich already. I'm seeing him. He's on Instagram. He has a huge ass following already. He's a star over there. I did not expect that. He's
he has a bit of hype. He's had a bit of hype for a cool minute. He's he's not super well known. I think in the States, but in Mexico he's known.
Yeah, well, he's already driving $80,000 cars with the Corvettes and shit. I have to think that's his, huh?
They're paying him well then, shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's already a star, but Americans, we don't really know about him as much. But so what do you think his ceiling is? Is he supposed to be a guy that's gonna be a champion at different weight classes and eventually go up to 135 the way Oscar did? Do you think his ceiling is he's a champion but very beatable? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think the champion at the weight is Inoue. I think obviously Inoue could beat anybody within his weight classes. He's fucking that good. But against Inoue, I think it's a bit premature, because if Volvinazian was able to to land some good shots on him, Inoue is definitely gonna land some shots on him. But fucking Picasso has a chin because Picasso was getting hit with some really good shots. I didn't really see him get hurt in the fight. I don't know if you did, but that's what I noticed yesterday that I didn't talk about a lot is that he has a really good chin. The fucking kid.
I did see him. It looked like Harbinusian was the kind of more sturdy guy, thicker, sturdy. Pause. I'm looking at the rankings. Picasso is actually 10. He's ranked top 10 now. So he has it's stacked, man. You got Inui 1, Fulton, Tapalis, Akmadalia. What'd be a good fight? Maybe next year is him and Goodman.
That'd be a great fight. That'd be a great fight.
I'm not sure. Look, I know you guys are gonna hate me, but at this point right now, watching them, I'm not sure he beats Neri. He might need a year before he takes on like Luis Neri. How do you think he does against Luis Neri at let's say end of this year or beginning of next year? Because that would probably put him on the map and make him a star.
Well, they've been posturing for a cool while. They got like a little rivalry. It's not like like fucking like shit talking. It's just like a good little rivalry. Like I want to fight you. They just have it like they were hinting at it like a year ago or whatever. That they were gonna fight soon. But well, Neri's coming off a devastating loss against Inoue. He got knocked out pretty bad. And Inoue's kind of like on the tail end of his career, and he's already moved up in weight actually, Neri. So Neri's not fighting at 122 anymore. But
He's okay.
Yeah, so it all depends because like Inoue is fighting TJ Doheny.
Yeah, Irishman.
And Inoue's already said that he wants to fight this guy and then fight MJ, and possibly the Filipino guy Casemiro. So he might have 2 fights in the division. He might move up. So it all depends. If he wins against Doheny, because most people think he's going to beat Doheny. So do I. But Doheny's shit, man. I was watching this like 1 or 2 fights of him lately, and he's actually like I thought it was going to be like a complete can, but he's actually on like a good little winning streak, and he's got some good wins under his belt. So I mean, he could surprise in a way. I mean, like I don't know. Like TJ Doheny don't have the power like that, but I mean, he could definitely. I think he's going to give him a little run for his money. I mean, especially if Inoue fucking possibly underestimates him, but I don't think so. Inoue should get it done. So yeah, it all depends for Picasso. It all depends on Inoue because Inoue holds all the belts. So if he beats Doheny, he moves up. He doesn't fight MJ or Casimero, then then he can fight one of the top contenders for a belt. Did I cut off my internet go?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking. Like I'm saying. I think they have to. I think they should wait 2 more fights at least for Picasso because I seen him get hit way too clean. That's what I seen, and I didn't watch the full fight, but when I was watching the last 4 or 5 rounds, I seen him just get hit too cleanly. I mean, unless you guys see differently.
No, I mean I saw some really good defense in the first half of the fight. But then we started tiring out a bit. I saw some just like some bad habits. That's like just comes with an experienced fighter in my humble opinion. I'm not saying it's like, oh yeah, he's ready to fucking he'll beat the big guys in the division. But I mean, like he's definitely on his way. He just got to keep improving. But I do like that Goodman fight. And that's a fight where it's a good fight. He can learn from it, but it's also a dangerous fight because Goodman's really good. It's one of the fighters.
Extremely. Yeah. That the Goodman, he's good. I seen him. Who did he beat for the title like a year ago?
I don't think he has a title.
Not the title, but for like a mandatory position, because he was the mandatory for Nui, and I guess he turned the fight down. That's what I remember seeing. But he fought some African American over there in Australia.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that was his last immediate fight that he fought, but yeah, he fought an American that had a bit of hype, and he's actually pretty decent fighter. That's what kind of impressed me that Goodman was able to beat him. It was a close fight, but he was able to beat him. But fuck, what's his name? He has power and shit. Has a pretty good, he has a decent win on his record. But I forget his name. But yeah, but he beat him and kind of like put himself on the map.
Oh. Blaze, somebody said that Picasso is actually sponsored by Canelo. Pound said he's sponsored by. Is he under Golden Boy or Canelo? I'm confused now.
I haven't even seen like Golden Boy kind of like anywhere in any of his fights, so I'm pretty sure he probably because in his weight division he doesn't really need an American promoter, so he probably has like some contacts. So he's probably like because Pounds was saying Zanfer was his promoter, so right now, probably his main promoter is Zanfer because, like, in those divisions, it's Mexico and Japan, Philippines.
Yeah.
There's not really like a big American market for it.
Blaze said Goodman beat Donnie and Aleem. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Aleem.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Goodman proved to be a low-key like contender, but he didn't want a shot at a Nui. But so Picasso, do you think he could be a superstar? Do you see him being the next Mexican great fighter?
It all depends on him. I mean, I see the talent there. You know, I see the the Hovhannissian fight was a really good fight for him. You know, he went through some adversity, but like mostly I had him winning pretty comfortably, and even like one of the rounds, I think it was the ninth or the 10th, where I felt he got hit with a body shot or with a good shot, and he kind of like slowed down. It was like one round where I was thinking in my head, because I was watching by myself, I'm like, is this guy hurt or is he taking the round off? So it could have been either or. But at the end of the day, yeah, that Hovhannissian fight, he's obviously not he's obviously not championship level, but he's it was a good test for him, bro. So it all depends how they move him. So Zadford usually does a pretty good job with fighters.
No, that's an excellent point. The Habernesian is a real step up. I mean, that guy's fought everybody.
That was a huge step up. Like for Picasso, because Picasso fought. I mean, he's been fighting some pretty some unknown dudes. Up until this guy. And it's a guy that Nettie just fought. And gave Nettie the work until Nettie knocked him out. But
it was like fight of the year. Yeah, Neri was in a like fight of the year with that guy.
Yeah, it was nip and tuck. Fuck center ring, bro. It was a great fight. And Nettie, Nettie's got power. Like obviously as he showed against Inoue in the first round, or was it the first round or second round? I forget. But so that's why he was able to get Hovhannissian out of there. But Picasso, like if you notice his face is relatively unmarked. And usually because he's a fair-skinned dude, you can tell a little nick here, a little nick there. But to me, like I was saying, I attributed that to, like I said, he was defensively, he was on point for the first half of the fight, and then even though like he tired a bit and he got hit with some shots later on, he still didn't neglect his defense 100%. I think more for him is he's got to develop, he's got to get more used to his style and like do some things that he did. Like I saw that he took the angles on Hovhannissian a few, I would say like a handful of times, where he made him pay. I mean, not big, but like that was available for him the whole fight. Like I think he could have probably if he could have picked up on that, or the corner picked up on that like when he was able to dodge his shot and then pivot on him, he had him out of position. He just like I thought that's what I picked up. It's little things like that. Because like that's his I think his ideal fight for him is obviously not in the pocket. Like obviously he can fight in the pocket. He's got good defense in there, but like at the mid range, against Hovhannissian and against other fighters, that's where he excels. So he needs to just just be cognizant of that and just because sometimes they're like the Mexicans do. Sometimes they're they have this pressure of like they always have to put on a good fucking show and shit.
Right,
stuff like that. But yeah, like right at mid range, bro. That's like where I see him at his best, and that's where I saw him at his best in this last fight.
That's a good point. Yeah, because he's tall and lanky. It looks like he's gonna fill out at maybe 135, 140, maybe possibly go to 147. But yeah, he's a tall, lanky guy, and like you said, he fights at mid range. That's probably more. He has good footwork. But like you said, he's kind of confused a little bit. He still has to work on what his style is.
Yeah,
I think that's a good assessment of him.
Yeah, people got to realize he's 29-0 or 30-0, but like this was his first step up. So like literally in Mexico, like they usually still do like the old school style where they'll give you a shitload of fights, especially like this guy didn't have, because they don't have amateur careers, so they learn on the job.
Right. Yeah, well, we'll see, man. I mean, I think he was injured. He's had some injuries already. He looked decent. That was a step up. Like you said, Inoue is a champion. So, maybe Inoue goes up and faces Angelo Leo, drops the belts, or he stays and fights what'd you say, Akhmadayev and
yeah, you can fight MJ if MJ doesn't go up and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Inoue is gonna go up eventually, but you never know. Maybe he doesn't go up, and fuck it, bro. At the end of the day, bro, these guys.
Damn, that would be
shit.
That would be crazy
for him. Like a pound for pound fighter, one of the pound for pound fighters is in the division. But at the end of the day, bro, fuck, bro, those motherfuckers can lose too,
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes you're in a division where there's like a Barenchek or a Kimbozo, and you can go get that belt. And then sometimes there's a Inoue and a Crawford where that's who you got to go through to be considered the best in the division.
Yeah, or at least a champion.
Or
It's like I don't rock with these paper titles and shit, bro. Like especially like at the end of the day, bro. Like every fighter in history has had a paper a title, especially like the ones that are kind of like pushed. You know, they usually give them these titles so they can make money. But like nowadays, how they give everybody a belt, you know, it's just like I'm not with the paper titles anymore.
well, that's why it's interesting to talk boxing, right? Because you know we see these champions not fighting each other. Like 135, there's 4 champions. Not at 154 with Bud Crawford, there's still another champion, but they'll consider him the champion. But I agree with you. You know, you need to like 147. You know, all those guys are email champions. Like none of them fought each other to get the belt. But so I guess you know what, man? Sometimes I'm super casual because like I only watched like 4 rounds of Picasso, and I don't really start paying attention to a guy until he's like in the main event. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
No,
like
I hear you. There's a lot of people like that. I mean,
it's hard to like watch every fight and then cover every like it's just impossible. Like you know, it's a Saturday night. I get home, I gotta eat, and I'm gonna put on the main event. And then everybody tells me about the undercard. It's like, yeah, well, until he's a main event, you know, like at least Pacheco, right? Pacheco's gonna be on a main event. So when I get home, I might miss the first half of the card. You know, like.
Yeah. No, I hear you. At the end of the day, bro, yeah, it's it's extremely difficult to watch all these fights, bro, and you know, but
well, not only watch them but analyze them. So I'm gonna when I watch Picasso, I'm like, he's not ready, and I know some of the guys didn't like that. You know, I know some of you guys didn't like it, but I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with that. He's not ready.
That's what you're saying. I don't give a fuck. I mean, like, you know.
No, but you know,
yeah. That's just me. I mean, like, you know, some people would be like, oh, no, but no, hey, that's your opinion. That's your opinion, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get how we are because I mean, it's like we do need to hype up Picasso because look how they're hyping up Kermel Morin, right? So I kind of see what the homies are saying, like, man, you know, hype him up, and I get the hype, but I'm just telling you what I seen. I can't tell you what I didn't see.
Yeah, no. That was a good example with Kermel Morin. Like you didn't know Picasso, like. You know, you hadn't seen a lot of Picasso's fights, you know, like I haven't seen a lot of Moten's fight, but he's only had like 3 fights. And then like, and that's the thing where like I've said it before in the past, like we're inadvertently part of like the fucking promotional teams for these fighters, you know, like YouTubers and shit. Cause like I saw like all these videos on like, oh, how Kermel Moten is the fucking future champion and he's a fucking monster. And he fought a guy that hadn't fought in 4 years.
See, that's that bullshit. Well, that's why I'm talking. That's why it's like I understand what, like, hey man, Picasso's hella good, and look who he fought. I get it. But I just gotta be honest. But I get it because they're looking at the hype that Kermel Morton's getting. Like all I see is like, yeah, he's TBEs. He could beat all the champions already. I'm like, dude, he fought
He's had 3 fights, man.
He fought the bacon vendor dog, man. That's who he fought. The guy that was making bacon dogs.
And then it was to his detriment, in my opinion, because these are like the nuances, and like I've been watching boxing for a long time. These are like the nuance that I picked up on. Like as soon as I saw that the guy, he only had 1 loss, but he hasn't fought since 2018. I'm like, all right, cool. They're taking him to Mexico to build a fan base because you know, like these fuckers, you know, they're like Floyd's trying to build another tank, you know. So you know, so fuck it, you know, Mexicans love fucking boxing, so they took him over there. Fucking, they put him a guy, you know, but back in, you know, before, you know, and this is what I thought possibly they were going to do here. This guy was for him to, like, you know, get rounds in. You know, I thought, like, I forgot, I think of the homie Bruce Gass. He was on commenting on the fight, and he was saying, yeah, Moten probably take this guy out in, you know, 1-2 rounds. You know, and in my head, you know, because I wasn't on the panel, I was like, I think, you know, like, since this guy, like, literally, obviously, this guy's here for a paycheck, and this is a showcase fight for Moten. He's probably going to take him, you know, it was a 6-round fight, so probably going to take him 3 and just practice what he's been doing in the gym. But this guy took him out in like 30 seconds. So literally the fight in itself was like meaningless. It was just for a check for both fighters. Yeah,
I mean, it was definitely a showcase fight. Like, you know, they're hyping up Abba Mason. I mean, we seen him the other week fight on. I didn't even watch it, to be honest. Like the one, the Abdullah Mason, the one he just fought. Yeah. He fought some guy who looked. I called him Cody. He beat the guy in 1 round, but it's like, and you know, everybody's like, oh, you can see the hand speed, you can see the footwork. I mean, they're just so it's like they're hyping him like this Morton guy, right? But me,
Yeah,
you go ahead.
no, I was just
I,
gonna say. I mean, it's a little different with Moten because Moten has 3 fights, like literally, and then his last fight before this one, he actually had a pretty tough fight in there with I guess I forgot what the guys. I mean, he won the fight, but I mean, like he struggled in there, you know. So that's why I thought, like in my head, I'm like, okay, showcase fight, but he's gonna practice like the shit that he was like, you know, like you know, that was that he struggled with the other dude, you know. But now it was like a 30-second fight for nothing. Abdullah Mason, yeah, he fought a dude that was like from Nantucket or something like that with a few losses. You can tell, yeah, because I could see the talent in Mason. So you know, but I'm not the type of dude. Like, yeah, like he's a prospect I have my eye on. Like to me, like they should have been fucking promoting this guy instead of Shakur Stevenson, because Mason, like, at least he likes to get in there and get motherfuckers out of there. But at the end of the day, he has like fucking, I don't know, 12 fights. So it's like, you know, okay, we have like more to base upon. Now we're Carmel Moulton's like, oh, like this guy's footwork's so great. I'm like, how can you tell? Like it's been 3 fucking fights.
yeah, no, my point about like how, you know, I only watch main eventers. Basically, I'm at a point in my boxing career where I only watch the main event. I feel like I could look at a guy and I can tell you if he's good or not. I don't know. I think that's the way do you look at boxing like that? Because I hear you talking. I think you're kind of the same way. Like you're
Well,
already like set in your ways, and you know what you like and you know what you don't like.
yeah. Well, I like what most, you know, fans like. You know, I want an entertaining fight. You know, like skill is like. I mean, if you know what you're looking at, skill is skill. You know, so I can see it in Mason, like in the little bit that I've seen, because I don't watch amateur boxing anymore. In the little thing I've seen in Moten, okay, yeah, he looks cool, but it's been fighting, you know, what fighters at his fucking level of the game fight, you know, just like fucking fighters that are literally there, like back in the day, like they used to like put you a fighter that you know you're gonna beat, but he was a southpaw, so give you like fucking some work against a southpaw, and like literally carry him a bit so you can work on like your fucking, you know, like shit you've been working on in the gym, you know, like nowadays, like they literally just put you in there with a can, let you destroy him just so motherfuckers can say, oh my God, look, did you see how great he was?
That's a great point that you brought up, because I remember watching guys like Zab Judah come up, and you could tell they were being matched correctly. Like they were given tough tests and they weren't hyped. I don't know if people understand, like he wasn't hyped, so he wasn't under pressure. Like you said, he could work on things. Yeah. And then like Miguel Cotto.
It was like the fucking amateur system was different, bro. Like, you know, like these guys were highly touted amateurs and shit, and when they came out, you know, yeah, like you said, they were matched correctly. So like I was explaining before, and that's how it ties into your the theme of your show. Like to me, Mayweather did all the things that these guys did. Like Mayweather, like whether you like him or not, where you think you cherry picked or not, like the skill he had, it was the skill he had, but he didn't have them by fucking fighting a bunch of cans. You know, like at the end of the day, like these fighters like want what they're doing and getting the money that they're getting for fighting like nobodies. But like before it was Money Mayweather, there was Pretty Boy Floyd. Like the motherfucker was a killer. You know, like he wasn't a back foot bitch.
Yeah, let's get to the Mayweather effect then. Yeah, he like you said, because he was hyped. He was hyped. I think he was already fighting for a title in his 18th fight, right? He was fighting for a title.
Like 18th fight. Yeah, he fought relatively quickly for his title. Yeah. No, he was he got signed. Well, like because he was still part of the era where like literally if you medaled in the Olympics, like literally like promoters were all over you.
Yeah,
so he
what
rank, and you know,
like the names, there was the Diaz, I'm thinking not Joe. Yeah, Joseph Diaz is a part of that, right? Jojo?
No, not even because Jojo didn't like he
who
won a
am I
title.
thinking? I thought Rocky Warriors was one of these guys who was an Olympian.
Yeah, Rocky. Yeah, Rocky was part of that. Yeah,
there was some guy there was an Olympian they super hyped. He was a brother, and he got knocked the fuck out like right away, man. Oh God.
I mean, there was one guy back in the day. His name was Ricardo Williams.
Yeah.
He was an amateur standout. Like literally, like in amateurs, he was like fucking killing dudes. And then in the gym, like in sparring, like he was like a sparring champion. But he's like one of those dudes where the like some people will give you like an example is like, yeah, sparring don't mean shit. You know, just what happened to Ricardo Williams? You know, like literally, he would beat the shit out of people and like literally beating champions in sparring. But when he actually got to the big stage, he wilted and he did become nothing.
I think that's the guy I was thinking. I think there's another guy who just fizzled out.
There's
Ricardo Williams.
There's tons of
Andre Berto. I think Berto was an Olympian, right? And they try to feed him us.
Yeah, but he wasn't he didn't win anything, you know, like and he participated for Haiti. Like usually like Olympians with it's usually Americans like back in those days, you know.
Yeah, no, but that's like some point because they were trying to hype, but they had to be matched tough because they're already fighting main eventers on HBO. I think they were trying to have Ricardo Williams already on a main eventer on HBO, so he has to be matched tough. He's not getting these top ranked headliners where he's fighting cans, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I think that's the problem is like nowadays. Like, and to me, it's mostly affects the American boxers, like Devin Haney, like bruh, it's like nobody knows who the fuck he is, bruh. And he hasn't really fought anybody. Like, yeah, he fought Lomachenko, fucking robbed him. Got knocked out by fucking Ryan. Ryan fought like shit and still fucked him up. You know, like he won his undisputed titles versus fucking Cambosa. This guy fucking sucks. You know, these guys are just silver platter, fucking entitled participation trophy motherfuckers. At the end of the day, bro, I'm just hoping this is cyclical and this is just like, okay, like when fucking these fighters that we like retire, like I hope the fucking these fucking bullshit fighters like fucking end up retiring quick or something in the fucking
I mean go ahead.
I foresee something. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll let you cook right now. Yeah, I foresee like fucking boxing being bad, bro, especially for in the American market once like fucking Bud Crawford retires. You know, all the fucking fighters that are like from, you know, the tail end of that era and shit.
Damn, yeah. Canelo, Crawford,
Spence. When Canelo retires, bro, fuck, bro, like literally, like I don't even think boxing's gonna have a star, bro.
Well, that's the other thing is that you know, Mayweather, because he was fighting last night, right? And I just remember thinking, like, man, this guy was the top of the sport. I mean, how do you go from being the top of the sport to being an embarrassment? I'm like, you have to be embarrassed if he's your man. Like, I hope Canelo doesn't go out like that. Like, you know how we seen Roy Jones go out super bad. Roy Mosley went out super bad. I mean, I hope Canelo doesn't go out like this.
Go out like what though?
Eight fight losing streaks, fighting in Russia, fighting
well, I mean, like to me, that's never been like an issue for me. Like at the end of the day, these guys fucking fight for money, bro, and they're boxers too with big egos, bro. Like they don't know when to hang it up sometimes.
Jamar says he made millions
fighting, but he's fighting in scripted fights, bro. This is just to make money.
That shit was fake too. Did he fire the ref mid fight or something like that?
Yeah, I mean he changed them out, but I mean like people that are still saying that like, oh yeah, I don't know, like you could tell like literally like Mayweather's his whole reason he made money was his undefeated record. Like Floyd is not stupid. He's not gonna take exhibition fights where he has a chance to lose. These are fucking fixed fights, bro. And it's cool. They're exhibitions. That's all they are.
Right. Do you think, and hit the link if you want to hop on. Do you think Mike Tyson, Jake Paul's going to be real?
Nope.
You think, I thought I heard you. Did I hear you talking to someone about that?
I mean, I've been asked about it before. I mean, you know, when they asked me about it, but no, that fight's not going to be real, bro. I mean, come on. I mean, and then like literally, if it was real, I mean, it's literally for money because Jake Paul, I mean, like he's a real boxer. Don't get me wrong. He's fought fucking he's fought a boxer or two boxers or whatever. But like, bro, he's built his wins on fucking MMA fighters, bro. He's like, you know, he's a real boxer. Like, I guess whatever. Like, I don't mind the hustle or whatever. But I mean, like, this guy's not taking this seriously. Not with the level of competition.
Jake Paul, right, fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's all for show, bro. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Tyson looked like he was like having fun. He was joking.
Yeah, no, you could tell. Like I mean, like literally, like I've seen Mike Tyson act in one or two movies. You know, like I think he was in The Hangover, some shit like that.
That's what
But
he was. He was.
he wasn't that bad of an actor in those movies because like if he was acting on like the little Face Off, yeah, it was, he was acting like he was just fucking around.
I mean, that's another guy who went out bad. Mike Tyson was like laying down, losing to white guys.
Yeah, bro,
fuck.
it happens, bro.
Brian
You know,
McNeely or something? Is that who he lost to? Did he
He
lose
lost
to like?
to Bryant. No, what fuck? What's his name? Yeah, it was a white guy that he lost, or was it? Danny
No, he
Williams?
beat Peter
No,
McNeely.
Brian McBride. Brian McBride. He lost to Brian McBride. That was his
Okay, Brian McBride, right? Yeah, man. Because I remember being a kid, and all my uncles were huge Mike Tyson fans, and they were buying all the fights, you know.
Yeah. Everybody's a big Mike Tyson fan, bro. I mean, like, I've never met somebody other than like on the internet, but people just talk a lot of shit on the internet. I've never met somebody that doesn't like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's like he went out bad. He had all the troubles, and now he's like everybody's favorite grandpa, you know? Like he had a complete what would you call that? Makeover, like a personality makeover or something.
Comeback or whatever you
image,
call it. A rebirth or something like that.
Yeah, image makeover.
Yeah, he literally was gonna have to fuck up really bad because like literally like ever since I was a kid, like you said, and like Mike Tyson, one of my favorite fighters, and especially like the Mexicans, like Chavez and him were like fucking like really good pals and shit. You know, they still are fucking friends and shit. So like, when fucking Chavez gives you like the green light, like people like you. If you're Mexican,
they both fought
in my vision,
I want to say Tyson, Chavez used to fight on Tyson undercard.
Yeah, they and that was the thing. Like, they actually the way it kind of played out, because Mike Tyson fucking went to jail and all that shit. So Mike Tyson was obviously the fucking biggest guy in the sport, the face of the sport at the time, and Chavez was obviously big, and with general fans, just not as big as Tyson, especially because heavyweights was still the heavyweight division at the time, But when he went to jail, that's literally like it boosted Chavez because it bumped him up to the face of boxing that it was for his for his stint. If he never would have went to jail, I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson, win, lose or draw, he's still, because he's a heavyweight.
Yeah, but he was really, he was a psychopath. He's talking about eating Lennox Lewis's kids.
No, he was a psychopath, bro. People loved him, bro. People fucking loved him.
Yeah, but it's crazy how people just overlook that now. Yeah, he went to jail for a certain crime. We can't say it here, but people know.
R-word and shit, which I think is bullshit. But I'm a fucking Mike Tyson homer, so he probably did it. I don't fucking know. Crazy motherfucker.
That's something people can watch documentaries and videos. But but as far as Mike Tyson, the personality, he's like smoking weed. He's like making people laugh. He's like, you can walk up to him and joke with them. He's completely different than he was. Well, obviously, right? When people get older, they get more. They're not gonna be all hot-headed like he was. Yeah. But
and like his hot-headedness was like for the fights though. Like I never seen him like fucking like I never seen him. Well, they didn't fucking have TMZ in those days. But when he was in the news, like he was never like fucking like telling the fans to go fuck themselves like Chris Stevenson and shit. Like when he went crazy with the fighters and shit and with bitches. He did a lot of coke.
Yeah. He was a fighter at heart. He said that he studied boxing, watched boxing, and things like that. So, but as far as Floyd Mayweather,
a crazy maniac, bro.
Huh?
A fighter and a crazy maniac.
Yeah, on top of, like you said, money and drugs and all that. Blaze said, who does the panel have, Danny or Laura? I would say Laura, right?
Fucking JB, you already know who I got, bro. I think Danny's the most overrated fucking fighter I've ever seen. So
Danny Garcia?
Yeah. No, I think he's overrated as fuck, bro, but it is what it is.
Well, he had a decent little career. He had a good run. Fighting Zab Judah, Amir Khan. Who else? Lucas Matisse. He had some names. He fought Eric Morales. He had some names, but he kind of blew it, right?
Whooping his ass and shit, bro. He fucking robbed that one Mexican American cat in Puerto Rico and shit.
Herrera, right?
Herrera, yeah, and he fought fucking what's his name? Some fucking nobody for one of his titles and shit. Yeah, I think he's like extremely overrated, bro. And what I've seen him, I don't think he's a good fighter, bro.
So you think Laura spanks his ass? Laura's like what, 41, 43 or something already?
But that's the thing. The age, at the end of the day, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, I think Lara is like levels above what Danny's ever been. You know,
I
skill
think
wise.
Danny
But
is
at the end of
what
the day,
could have
age.
been, man. I mean, I think he's like what could have been. Yeah, I heard people say he fought the Keith Thurman, lost, right? He fought Earl
Yep,
Spence, lost,
got his ass
but
beat.
he's fought everybody. I mean, he's fought everybody. I mean,
So did Oscar De La Hoya, bro. But like he didn't beat everybody.
no, yeah, but Danny being Puerto Rican also, he could probably been a bigger star, but he hasn't been active. He hasn't been fighting, so it's
Yeah.
kind
And
of
he
what
wasn't
could have
good
been.
enough, in my opinion. He wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I put him in like with the Sean Porters. He was good enough to beat some guys, but he could never beat the elite of the elite and
I don't know.
continue
Sean
it.
Porter got some big wins, bro. I didn't see Danny Garcia have any big wins.
Would Sean Porter has what? Kell Brook? No, or he lost to Kell Brook.
He lost to Kell Brook, but he beat
He who's his biggest win?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I don't know. I got a lot of respect for Sean Porter as a fighter, so maybe sometimes I forget. Yeah, I would say okay. Yeah, him and Danny. Yeah, they both got I guess people think of them as decent fighters, but really they don't have like that one signature win.
They're not legendary, man. I mean,
Yeah, they're not. No. I'm not, I definitely don't think. Danny's legendary, but I don't think Sean Porter's legendary either. I don't know. Like
I mean,
fucking for me, it's like Sean Porter like fought everybody, but I didn't think he ever robbed anybody. He lost some, he won some. He just like he wasn't just like elite. He was almost gonna beat Errol Spence's ass, but Errol Spence caught him with that knockdown and shit. It is what it is,
yeah.
bro. Shit happens, bro. Like shit.
I mean,
If the knockdown don't happen, who knows?
yeah, with guys like Danny and Sean, it's always like they fought it. To me, I think you're great if you fought everybody. That's just my opinion. Like, okay, he didn't win them all, but he fought them all. When some of these guys, they don't fight everybody. They kind of pick and choose. That's one thing about Floyd Mayweather too. Is like, okay, now I know you have your opinion. You said he fought everybody, but I know a litany. I mean, all the names that. Now it's hard to go back and look and see. Like we can now with social media and Canelo ducking David or who else is ducking who? Shakir and Tank ducking each other. Now you have
I don't know. Everybody's ducking everybody nowadays, bro.
Well, but here's my point: is because you have social media, and because with social media we get the news, and so I can say, well, look, he said this, and then somebody else is on the internet saying, well, he said that. But to go back in time and figure out if Floyd ducked, who's the name that. Did he duck Keith Thurman? Did he duck Earl Spence? Did he duck Kell Brook? I mean, those are names.
And I was there. I don't need to go back in time, bro. I lived it. Like I was fucking there. I followed Floyd's career since he left the. I remember when he was crying like Shakur at the Olympics, all the way till he retired. Like,
well, there was also a name.
I saw it. Go ahead, brother.
A name Costa Zoo. He never fought Costa Zoo. They said they wanted him to fight Amir Khan.
He didn't fight. Like the biggest ones that I hear that like I would say might have some validity are Antonio Margarito, because Margarito pulled up on him one time.
Okay, damn.
He
yeah.
He looked spooked, but at the end of the day, like that could have been I don't know. At the end of the day, like
no, you know what? I remember
spooked.
that
He looked spooked.
I seen it like last year. I was going back and someone has a video of Margarito walking up on Floyd. And he tells him, yeah, man, I got you. We're gonna make it happen. And he did. He looked he didn't have that energy that he had with like the other guys, watching Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Margarito to me literally is the only one that has literally we would obviously have to know what went on behind closed doors. He's like the only one that would have some has some validity to it. Like Keith Thurman, the other dudes that you guys said, like these guys were barely coming up. Like fucking Floyd was already on his way out. People like one fighter that they bring up that I think is totally ludicrous because like I remember like he was never brought up as a potential opponent, but and that's because like he was kind of in obscurity in Europe is Winky Wright. Like when Winky Wright was I don't think was ever a welterweight, and at the time when Winky Wright actually started getting some noise when he started coming over, like Floyd was still at welter.
That nerd brought up another name, Paul Williams.
Yeah,
he didn't want no smoke with Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, like, nah, bro, you didn't fucking do no.
Yeah, man, Paul Williams was a threat at the time. I mean,
no, Paul Williams was like literally so when because Margarito like started fucking probably around the same time as Floyd. So at the end of the day, by the time Margarito became a champion and Floyd was a champion, okay, like literally, like, okay, this is a fight that could be made. And then it's like, okay, he could be potentially ducking that dude. And then the video came out where, or was where like he looked shook. But Paul Williams won his title from Antonio Margarito. I was actually at that fight.
Well, that's the point, is that Floyd wouldn't fight Margarito or Paul Williams, so they had to fight each other.
Well, Floyd already moved up to 154. He was already competing at 154.
Yeah, and those guys moved
Margarito
up too.
was still at welter. Margarito was still at welter.
Well, either way, I mean, Floyd could fight at 147 or 154, but the point being that they were chasing Floyd. They were chasing Floyd Mayweather. Is the point?
Nah, but they weren't. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I lived it. Like at the end of the day, like I wasn't behind closed doors, but like literally, like Antonio Margarito to me is the only one that has validity. Paul Williams was literally like he was up and coming. Like I don't think he ever said fucking Mayweather's name.
I'm pretty sure that he did, because that's why him and Margarito fought.
I was a Paul Williams fan, even though I thought he robbed Margarito, because I remember me and my dad were at the fight and shit. We're like, bro, they robbed Margarito, whatever. But you know, that was just my personal opinion. But nah, bro, like literally, like Floyd was already like either moved up to 154 already, or out the door. Like literally, bro, Paul Williams had no name.
No, I mean, he wasn't a star, but he was. What I'm saying, he was a threat. He was in the division, and they were mentioning.
No, they weren't in the division. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like literally, Floyd was already at 154, or trying to make fucking fighters with like the other dudes. They were saying like Manny or whatever, because Manny was getting fucking his name going down. Paul Williams was literally still like, he hadn't even moved up to 154. He was still competing at welterweight. I remember like that was his shtick. Like he was like he was like the Fundora of that time. He was like extremely tall for fucking 147.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're correct. But
I mean, if memory serves, like I said, I could be off here or there, but
well, that's what I'm saying.
Definitely not, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of hard to go back, because what you would have to do is go back and, I used to read Ring Magazine when it was a thing, and then look and see where Paul Williams' name is, where Floyd Mayweather's name is. But I know they were all together in and around each other's weights at the same time, and that's why Margarito and Williams fought each other. But what I remember was they were chasing Floyd. Look, they were all trying to chase Floyd Mayweather at one time, because he was the name, the way they're chasing Canelo. Now, that's what I'm talking about with the Floyd Mayweather effect. Floyd Mayweather would talk about, why do I need to fight this guy? Like once Shane Mosley beat Margarito, he could always say, oh, well, I don't need to fight Margarito because Shane Mosley beat him and I beat Shane Mosley. So, Floyd would always do these kind of things. And
I hear that. And that's why I think he gets give me one second, everybody.
That's another part of the Mayweather effect. Okay, I don't know Puro if he's coming back, but what I remember, Floyd Mayweather, he talking about Costa Zoo is a name that he never fought, and they said it was because of promotional differences, which they use today, right? That's what I'm talking about, the Mayweather effect. A lot of the things that these fighters say, what do we hear them say? If it makes sense, which is code for business, right? If the money's there. And that's kind of how the terminology they use to fight lesser or weaker opponents. Floyd Mayweather won his belt from Arturo Gatti, and I believe it was on pay-per-view. But Arturo Gatti had already been beat several times. There was other names. I want to say, he fought Castillo and Corrales. I don't know if it was Gatti. Like I said, a long time ago, man. Did he fight Gatti first or after? But Diego Corrales was the big name and threat at the time. But Floyd would use these tactics. There was guys like Casamayor, Fritas, that he never fought. They were in or around his division. Kell Brook, Winky Wright. I remember people saying Lara was calling him out. Triple G was calling him out. Sergio Martinez was calling him out. Like, everybody was chasing him. He was the name at the time, and everybody's going to chase him. Now, should Floyd Mayweather have fought him? I mean, you'd have to go back 10 years and do your homework to figure these things out, which is kind of hard to do with since there was no social media around. Like, we can, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Everybody calls out Canelo Alvarez, right? Because he's the name. If they did that with Oscar De La Hoya, they call him out. And Floyd Mayweather, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, even if that there wasn't social media, bro, like at the end of the day, like the social media of that day was like newspapers, websites, like I mean that's where I went because like the as a big degenerate hardcore boxing fan that I am now I was that back then. Like it was one of the sports like I liked all sports, but like this is a sport was like literally it's like fuck, bro. It's like trying to check every fucking website, every newspaper. I was like, when is this guy gonna fight that guy? When is this guy gonna fight that guy? And then a lot of the times, like all these like the ducky narratives would be created. Like you said, there wasn't no social media, but at the time when the actual fighters were actually asked who do they wanted to fight next or whatever, it would be in the ring post fight. A lot of fighters would say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave that up to my manager." They still, there's a lot of fighters that still say that shit. But now it's like,
Yeah.
calling out this guy, and a call out means that like fucking like if you don't make the fight, you're a duck. At the end of the day, bro, it's like I don't believe in ducks. At the end of the day, bro, I don't believe any fighter's ever ducked anybody. Like has there been like situations where like like a fighter probably like fucking chose another route? You want to call that a duck? Cool, I'm not tripping. But at the end of the day, bro, it's like I mean like. Especially these fighters that we're talking about, like fucking Canelo, Mayweather, Sugar Ray, any of the big fighters, bro. At the end of the day, all you got to look at their resume, and if you lived it, if you were there at the time, like who were the big fights and who was it? And if they fought him, okay, they fought him. Cool. If they didn't fight him, it's really easy to this day, and it was really easy back then to know why.
Fair enough. I was thinking something.
I'm gonna bring down the groceries, bro. If you're still on, I'll come back on, bro.
Okay. Handle your business. Like we were saying, man, back in the day, you had HBO, Showtime, Ring Magazine, and then maybe you went on the internet to find, clips or articles about the fights coming up. But it was like easier to follow. But as Puro was speaking, I was thinking of something. And I remember, like, do we know if Chavez ducked anybody or did he fight everybody? Because growing up, my uncles would get the fights and they were big Julio Cesar Chavez fans. But, I remember he fought, who did he fight? He fought some guy named Greg Haugen. And I think it was a famous line and people use it today about how Julio fought nothing but Mexican cab drivers, right? Because he was like 80-0. At one time, I think he was 89, Julio Cesar Chavez, and you're seeing that with Mayweather, they were hugging and holding hands last night. Floyd gives his props. Floyd Mayweather actually says that, his dad, I believe his dad said that Julio Cesar Chavez is the greatest lightweight ever. He says the Mayweathers say that Duran is the best fighter of all time, and so does Mike Tyson. But Julio Cesar Chavez, Floyd Mayweather Sr. is quoted as saying that Julio Cesar Chavez would have beat my son. He says Julio Cesar Chavez would have beat Floyd Mayweather, right? If you remember, the Mayweathers fought. Julio Cesar Chavez had beat, I think it was Roger Mayweather. I don't know if they fought once or twice. Hey, boy, Chavez put lightweight pay-per-views on the map. Yeah, he was a legend, man. But, I wasn't around in the day, and I don't remember people talking about whether Chavez was ducking somebody or who he didn't fight. The only thing I remember him is fighting guys like Pernell Whitaker, Hector Camacho, Oscar De La Hoya. But even when he, fighting Sweet Pea Whitaker, they said that Chavez robbed Whitaker and they never fought again, right? And watching highlights, if you watch Chavez and Pernell Whitaker again, in my opinion, Chavez was trying to make the fight, and the only duck is Mayweather in my lifetime. Yeah, Pudo makes some good points. My only point is what I can remember. Like I said, in the Mayweather era, Mayweather used a lot of triangle theory. He used a lot of what I was going to say about fighting Ricky Hatton. Costa Zoo. Well, he fought Ricky Hatton, beat Ricky Hatton, who had beat Costa Zoo. Well, Costa Zoo quit on a stool for undisputed, I believe. But Mayweather said, I don't need to fight that guy because Ricky Hatton beat him, which is triangle theory. And my point, and we know triangle theory doesn't work. And one of the things that makes boxing great is that it don't matter if you beat a guy who beat a guy who beat a guy. Like they say that Haney tries to say he's better than. That's a perfect example. Mayweather talking about never having to fight Costa Zoo or Margarito because he beat the guy who beat the guy. And we see that happen when Devin Haney can always say, he doesn't need to fight Teofimo because he beat the guy who beat the guy. So Devin Haney in his imagining world, he never has to fight Teofimo Lopez because he can always say, "Oh well, I beat Cambosos who beat Teofimo, so I wiped the floor with Teofimo." But we've seen that doesn't work. Lomachenko knocks out George Cambozo in the 10, 11 rounds, and Devin Haney goes 24 rounds with them. So just because you get beat or dropped by a guy doesn't mean you can't go. We've seen that with Manny Pacquiao and Eric Morales, right? And Antonio Barrera. They all fought each other, and everybody beat everybody. Barrera beat Morales, Morales beat Barrera, and Manny Pacquiao beats Juan Marquez, and then Juan Marquez beats Barrera. They were all fighting each other at the time, and there was no, well, I beat this guy, so I don't need to fight that guy. So, and Floyd Mayweather tried to do that as well when, avoiding Manny Pacquiao for years. I was going to ask Poodle, and if you're listening, Poodle, who, and I want to ask the chat, whose side are you on as far as, did Floyd Mayweather duck Manny Pacquiao? Was Manny Pacquiao ducking Floyd Mayweather with the drug testing? Was Mayweather ducking Manny Pacquiao with making offers, talking about he'll give Manny Pacquiao 40 M's to leave Bob Arum and they'll make the fight? There was a lot of narratives. I remember they said Manny was afraid of needles. Mayweather said that Manny didn't want drug testing, even though Manny said he would do drug testing. So, there was a lot of narratives at the time. And without social media the way it is, it's like it's really a belief game. It's who you want to believe. El Pachuco, JC Chavez never looked knocked out cold in a fight, even when he fought a younger, stronger pound for pound fighter and prime Oscar. Yeah, they fought twice. And I seen sparring footage of Chavez and De La Hoya, and Chavez was putting it on De La Hoya. De La Hoya was hanging, but you could just tell how much more elite Chavez was. But it was a young De La Hoya. They were fighting in East LA. Salvador Sanchez ducked. Castillo was Chavez's sparring partner. Yep, and he gave Floyd probably an L, if not his toughest fight ever. T. Swoof. Floyd always had the advantage. His contracts, ring size, run around, loose ropes, bend over, miss shots, his own medical team to avoid testing. Yeah, he has the IV scandal, getting IV drips, rehydration. He got exemptions in Las Vegas, even though they weren't cleared. Oscar said Floyd would have still beat Pacquiao in his prime. Oscar said Floyd would. Oh, okay. Oscar said that Flow Mode's of the original LDBC. Yeah, I'm seeing that. That's their idol. That's their king, right? Oscar said Munguia beats Canelo. If Oscar says a lot of things, it might be the yayo, But the Floyd Mayweather effect, that's another thing. Talking about A side, B side. Floyd Mayweather had to have everything his way, right? Weight draining Canelo Alvarez, right? Making him come down a weight, even though fighting for a title at that weight class, and Canelo Alvarez taking the fight. They're always going to say that. Well, he beat your boy Canelo Alvarez. And, we say, well, Canelo was 23. Hit the like, guys. I dropped the link. Talk about the Floyd Mayweather effect and how it has ramifications for today. So the A side, B side, making McDonough, Floyd Mayweather tried to make Marcos McDonough wear some like pillow gloves, because Floyd had brittle hands. And I remember Marcos McDonough threatening not to come out if he didn't have the gloves that he wanted, which I think was Clito Reyes. So Mayweather, in order to keep the pay-per-view going, had to pay Marcos McDonough like $1 million because Marcos McDonough had said that, he's not coming out unless he gets to wear his gloves. So, even until the last minute of a fight, Floyd Mayweather was trying to get the ring. He always had Kenny Bayless, and we've seen how biased Kenny Bayless is, right? He always had to fight in Vegas. He always had to fight with Kenny Bayless. Leroy Green with 43 fights, still crying about age. Who's crying? I don't know. 18th Street. Salute. Styles makes fights, and Floyd invented the modern day bully catchweight. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar made Floyd Mayweather. But Oscar was already a little older, and Floyd Mayweather also with the retirement. He retired rather than rematch Oscar De La Hoya. I think he retired for like 2 years. He stepped away from the sports. No, they weren't idiot. They were Everlast used gloves. He wore Everlast, but a new pair to fight. Excuses. No. Either way, Floyd Mayweather, well, it was years ago, right? We're talking 7, 8, 9 years ago. Like I said, there's no social media. We don't have the answers at our fingertips. But I know there was a glove controversy, and Floyd Mayweather had to give Marcos McDonough an extra $1 million. I don't know if it was to change the gloves because he was afraid of the gloves Marcos McDonough was using, but there was a controversy. And so, what, you don't know your facts on YouTube? Well, I don't spend all day on YouTube to go look for it. I know off the top of my head there was a controversy, and Marcos McDonough had to be paid. So that's just another example of Floyd Mayweather using tactics, A side, B side, and things like that. Mayweather used to bully Mexican fighters, Charleston White. Did he? Now, I remember him saying that that was the best rivalry in all of sports, African American versus Mexican fighters. But like I said, the Floyd Mayweather effect is the Manny Pacquiao saga for 6 years, and they finally make the fight, and it was a dud. It was a dud. Then he comes back, he fights Andre Berto, which tanked at the box office, right? And then he fights for 50-0. He fights Conor McGregor, a 0-0 fighter, which is a fraud. Like, I don't know how it's an actual fight and not an exhibition fight, and he becomes 50-0. Well, shut up about it. The gloves were used. You have to use new gloves every fight. You're not making any sense. Why? The point you need to figure out is what was Floyd Mayweather so afraid of? He's all about money, and he's willing to give a guy $1 million to not use gloves, or the guy wanted to use his gloves, and Floyd gave him money to make sure that he wasn't able to use the gloves that he wanted. Ducking Manny. I'm gonna say he ducked Manny Pacquiao. I remember is Manny Pacquiao had said yes to drug testing. If you listen to Floyd, the Flomos and these type of Floyd sycophants, they always talk about Manny Pacquiao was afraid of drug testing. To this day, why is every time Mexican fights a black, especially a championship fight, they always have a black ref? Yeah, well, I don't know if it's black or white or a Mexican thing, but if you're the A side, it's just like when Lomachenko fought Devin Haney. Devin Haney had all American judges. He had the gloves that he wanted, the ring size, and that's the only way Loma could get the opportunity for undisputed. Like, he had to give in, and that's a Floyd Mayweather tactic, right? Floyd Mayweather got the exemptions in the state of Nevada to use IV drips, right? And that's what they busted supposedly Ryan Garcia for. So, this guy talking about, well, you don't know the gloves, you don't know this about McDonald's. Like, well, you're trying to deflect instead of focusing on if Floyd Mayweather was using an A-side tactic and afraid of something, right? He didn't want to allow Marcos McDonough to use his gloves, and Marcos McDonough was threatening to not go to show up for the fight. And they're literally in the locker room. This is not before the fight. This is right as the pay-per-view telecast is going on. Marcos McDonough refuses to come out unless he gets what he wants. And Floyd Mayweather had to pay him $1 million extra. Robert Garcia brags about it to this day. Marcos McDonough has a I want to say a necklace with when he knocked out Floyd Mayweather's tooth. So Floyd Mayweather also, he won a title from Gotti, like a pay-per-view mismatch. Then he gets Carlos Baldomir, like 12 losses, right? He gets a gift, and because Zab Judah had lost to Carlos Baldomir, right? Baldomir was like a stiff. Mayweather paid Ortiz $3 million or received $78. Disgusting. Yeah, and now people want to fight Canelo because they're gonna get $10 million. And Ortiz, and another fiasco. Like, how many fiascos was Floyd Mayweather in? It was like the Zab Judah fiasco, the Ortiz fiasco, the Conor McGregor mismatch, the Andre Berto snooze fest, the Manny Pacquiao snooze fest. Floyd is a pussy. Those Everlast MX that McDonough wanted to wear were approved by the NSAC. So yeah, clarify. So McDonough had to change them, and so he made Floyd pay him. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't have the exact facts, but I know Floyd Mayweather had to pay McDonough. So all these things that Floyd Mayweather did, and Floyd Mayweather's dad is on tape saying that Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao is all wrong for his son, that he said that fight would never happen, that he wouldn't allow it. He said he would have never allowed Floyd Mayweather to fight Manny Pacquiao. And then that's when Manny Pacquiao created the Manny Pacquiao was on steroids, right? Floyd said he was going to let his fans choose between Amir Khan and McDonough. Fans chose Amir Khan. Floyd cherry-picked McDonough instead. Yeah, McDonough was coming up in weight too, and he beat Broner, I believe, to get the shot. Floyd still being racist, wearing the Mexican flag shorts. Yeah, he's culturally appropriating, but it's okay for them to do it. But Canelo can't wear a dashiki, right? If he did that, it would be racist. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the Floyd Mayweather effect, man. And I said earlier, Floyd Mayweather going out bad. Like this guy's fighting he used to fight in sold out stadiums, and now he's fighting in arenas where there's nobody in the stands. Like you could see the rack, everything was brought. Everybody who basically came in was given a ringside seat. I mean, it was, that's crazy. You were one time a superstar of the sport. It reminded me of like Chavez when he was fighting a farewell tour. He was fighting whoever for for whatever on a farewell tour. It's kind of sad. Chavez is hella old fighting guys, and I don't know if they were exhibition bouts. I don't really remember, but I don't say he went out bad, but he didn't go out good. Oscar at least went out semi good. He lost to Manny Pacquiao, and that was it. He's not trying to revive his career fighting exhibitions and looking like a fat ass and going bald. It's just kind of sad to see. You see these guys and they're young and they're prime and how talented and how good they were, and then they're fighting in like nondescript arenas, barely a crowd. There's no energy in the audience, and it's just like, man, like, why are you doing this? Like, you're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing your legacy. And I get the comments. I've seen some Flomos in here, and they're saying, "Oh, you just hating. He's still the GOAT." And I've seen that on social media. And on social media, people are really saying that Floyd Mayweather could probably beat Errol Spence now. Oh, he could give Terrence Crawford a run from his money. Oh, he could give Canelo a challenge. Like, what are we talking about? He was fighting a guy who was like 2-0 that wasn't a boxer. He was literally fighting a guy off the street. The guy had no boxing ability. I mean, he had a good stance, but he wasn't throwing punches. The guy was doing absolutely nothing. And I don't even think they landed a decent punch on each other. And these guys are saying that Floyd still looked talented, that he's still a GOAT, that he looked good. I mean, I think people are living in delusion land. What are we talking about? Slew LL. Abel, imagine Canelo ducking improved gloves. Yeah, Canelo A-side. He does A-side shit, but I don't think he handicaps people. Floyd would have been a nobody in the 80s. All 4 Kings beat him. Yeah. I mean, his own dad said that Chavez was better and Duran would have beat him. I think Floyd still whoops Haney. That would be funny. Maybe that. Because you got to imagine Haney's style and the Shakir styles. They're not meant to deal with like a real boring kill the pace style like Floyd Mayweather. He could really slow down, and he has enough technical ability to stand there, and those guys can't punch, and he could make them probably look bad. But there's no way he gets in with like active fighters like William Zepeda or Virgil Ortiz. I mean Virgil Ortiz would splatter Floyd Mayweather. Let's talk about that. Like, don't talk about him fighting Errol Spence or and mentioning these guys that are faded and washed. Like, if they want to compare, let them try to beat a Madrimov. Let them try to beat a Bokachuk or a Virgil Ortiz. I mean, these guys are living in yesterland. Look, man, the Floyd Mayweather era was 10 years ago, and boxing has been worse since, right? Right? I mean, that's my take. Boxing, like, Floyd could have really elevated the sport. He could have passed the torch. He could have did something great. Instead, he went out. Look, fine. He accepted a payday. McGregor and Floyd Mayweather sold great, but that wasn't boxing. The streets are saying he could win. Yeah, man. These guys. I don't know if they're serious. I honestly think that they may be serious when they say these things. Look, man. These guys. Look. They worship and idolize Floyd Mayweather. I get it. It's the same that maybe we worship and idolize Julio Cesar Chavez or Oscar De La Hoya. It really depends on the era and time that you grew up in. If you're from the Muhammad Ali era, if you're from the Sugar Ray Leonard era, if you're from the Roberto Duran era, it's like what your parents watched and showed you is really going to shape how you view the sport. So if you grew up in the Floyd Mayweather era, and that was your parents' favorite fighter, and that's all you really know, when you see guys like Shakir and Hanky, you think that that's boxing. People showed up, support Picasso, and left during the main event. Yeah, that's what I seen on social media. People were saying that Picasso is really the star, and I seen his following, and it really looks like that. T. Swoop, thank you. I read a story from a mafioso that they used Mayweather making sure he won through e-pay judges, so it makes sense you have the Gottis teaming up with Floyd. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how substantiated it is, if that's an opinion, but I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. I think these dudes have a crush on Floyd. Yeah, yeah. Look, man, it's the era they grew up in. You know, Floyd Mayweather was the greatest fighter of that era. You know, he beat Marquez, he beat Pacquiao, all smaller fighters, by the way. You know, what Mayweather beating Marquez is equivalent to Mayweather beating Charlo, right? That's the parallel. But you see, even these YouTubers, even some people I watch, social media accounts, they trashed Canelo beating Charlo, but when it came to Floyd Mayweather beating Juan Manuel Marquez, right? And Floyd Mayweather, it was even a catchweight. Floyd Mayweather had made it, I believe, it was 144, so that Marquez could come up. Like Marquez had fought at 135, and then when he went to 47, you can tell it was he was not even competitive. He looked bulky, slow, and Mayweather blew the weight, and it was a boring fight. Mayweather couldn't even stop an old, worn, blown up Juan Manuel Marquez, right? Right? And he said that to try to avoid Manny Pacquiao by saying, "Well, I beat the guy who beat him," right? But Floyd Mayweather blew weight then. But they didn't have a problem when Floyd Mayweather fought Juan Manuel Marquez. You know, they didn't have fighting a smaller Marcos Maidana. You know, and then that's just the thing you have to talk about. Ed Dog said the Mayweather would have Chavez hitting air. Is that what he said? Oh, come on, brother. I like my generation, but we don't worship Crips as hard as millennials do. Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's the thing is we do have to understand the era and the time that you grew up in and how you're going to view boxing. Like I said, my uncles and family and friends, you know, they were Chavez fans, they were De La Hoya fans, you know, they liked Fernando Vargas, Felix Trinidad, you know, bought all the pay-per-views, hardcore fans. But you know, when Mayweather came along, you know, a lot of friends and family had kind of stopped watching boxing by then because Floyd Mayweather was boring. You know, there was a lot of boring fights that he had. You know, Carlos Baltimore was a boring fight. Juan Manuel Marquez was boring. You know, Andre Berto was boring. You know, even that's why there's the clip of Larry Merchant and Floyd Mayweather. The whole "you don't know shit about boxing" is Mayweather getting into with Larry Merchant because Larry Merchant called his bullshit out. Said, "You know, Floyd, you're kind of boring. What up, never sober? Salute, Sergeant." Jake Paul helped boxing. You know what? He's helping. You know, I don't. Is it the Z generation? Generation Z, is that what they call it with the Zoomers or the TikTok millennial? You know, the TikTok generation. I don't. There's like 20 generations now. They all have a name. The last 12 fights that Floyd had were terrible. Yeah, you know, Puro Sur reminded me. I mean, he ducked Margarito. That was an official duck. Manny Pacquiao. Excuse me, guys. Zoomers. Is that the TikTok generation? Zoomers. So who would Zoomers era be? Is Canelo the Zoomer era? Right? Canelo is a mix. He's a you know, I'm gonna say from the pandemic. Let's say look at boxing from the Ali's and Leonard's when it used to be on TV and the biggest sport, and then you had the Chavez, Gen Z, and then De La Hoya's. De La Hoya would be, what generation is De La Hoya? Is that the boomers, millennials? Is De La Hoya the millennial generation, right? When he was fighting the Hopkinsons, when he was fighting the Fernando Vargases, when he was fighting the Manny Pacquiao's, millennial. So Oscar is a millennial generation as far as bringing through boxing. And people are gonna say, why are you talking about this? Because it's important, motherfucker. That's why. Hit the like and hit the link if you want to talk, you know. But Floyd Mayweather, what generation is Floyd Mayweather then, right? Because Floyd Mayweather probably is leading into the end of pay-per-view. Because like pay-per-view is dead now. You know, Canelo's probably the last pay-per-view star. Canelo, I think, is a millennial. Canelo's a millennial, but I'm saying boxing fans, right? Boxing is a niche sport. Like Tank Davis fans are Zoomers, right? They're like the TikTok social media era, right? So they don't know about Floyd Mayweather fighting Marquez and Marquez coming from 122. Like, what are we talking about, man? But Canelo gets shit for fighting Charlo. Zoomers, these kids 21 and younger, I guess. I'm gonna call them TikTokers. That's what I call these motherfuckers, TikToks. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I was coming up watching boxing, I'm watching it in the movie theaters. That's like, I know I'm a fan because I'm paying to go to a movie theater with my pops or my cousins, sneaking in 40s and talk cans and getting drunk, watching Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, and it's a pack, and it's packed. You know what I'm saying? And people are watching the movie theater now. And nobody's buying fights. I mean, that's crazy, right? That's crazy that we used to be in packed movie theaters, and now you can't even find a place showing a fight. Canelo is a Zoomer millennial. You mean his fans, the people that are trying to say that boomers are terrible, man? They watch it. Who watches it? Millennials? Well, because they can stream it. I guess, well, that's what they said, man. Is that, I mean, Udo Su said that boxing isn't dead. Do we think, is boxing dead, or is it going to be a revival? Because he makes a good point. That it's not dead. It's just everybody streaming it. They said Usyk and Fury was watched by like 40 million people. They're just streaming it, right? Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis proves probably boxing is not dead, but they need to find a way to promote it better and get it to the masses. Because people, I mean, it sold 1 million pay-per-views, Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Hawker is a boomer. Zoomers are the worst. They like Jake Paul and Ryan. I like Ryan, though. My generation doesn't buy any pay-per-views. Is it because, let me ask you, Bato, is it because you used to buy pay-per-views and you don't like the current crop of boxers, so you don't buy pay-per-views? Or is it that everybody's just streaming it now? So boxing's not dead, it's just they're streaming the shit. I mean, people still watching it, they're still talking about it, but look, man, I get it. They don't have to buy it. Like, who the fuck was gonna buy last night's card? Better be a B-Ball, the boy, Canelo, all pay-per-views. I mean, it's getting really expensive. They said DAZN is gonna go to $35 a month, and they're putting on shit. The only good card DAZN had that was free was what? Boca Chuck and Ortiz. Now they're gonna give me a bunch of misfits fights. Like, I'm not paying for that shit. It's so stupid, Nah, I only buy Canelo Ryan fight, but people nowadays would rather stream it. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm gonna just be honest. I can't buy every pay-per-view, and it's not even a money thing. It's just the consumer being smart. Like, Crawford Madrimov wasn't buying that shit. I told you guys before, Crawford hasn't given me anything. Back in the day, they used to give you free fights. HBO used to give you fights, and then they'd sell you pay-per-view. Every once in a while, Marquez or Manny Pacquiao or De La Hoya, they would fight on regular HBO, and then they'd sell you pay-per-view. But if a guy don't fight and all his fights are on pay-per-view, he's not really giving me incentive to buy his fights. That's, I bought Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis and Haney Garcia because, I wanted, Ryan brings the fans. I wanted to be in tune, right? The Zoomers, everything that people are into, right? Blacks are using Mexicans to make themselves rich. And explain that. The economy is terrible right now. I think people would rather just save their own money. Well, my thing is that the Zoomers listen to rap music, but they don't buy it, right? They just stream it. Nobody buys shit anymore, right? I buy the fights because I want to see the fight. I don't want to stream it because I don't want to have to keep be behind and I have people watching it with me. I have fight parties. I go to fight parties, right? So I'm gonna spend the money on the beer and the food, And look, I hear everybody shitting on Canelo Alvarez. And I don't give a fuck because, it's an event. My pop's going to get the fight. We're all going to get together and we're going to watch some boxing. That's who they know, right? People wake up to the scam that is pay-per-view. I heard Pudo said Mayweather KO'd Chavez and hopped off. Y'all are hella funny, man. So, Chavez Mayweather, as you see the thumbnail. But speaking of the Mayweather effect, and, Mayweather was the last probably pay-per-view superstar, right? But that's before the pirating, and pirating is a big deal. Canelo Alvarez is a victim of pirating, but at the same time, he's still selling 500,000 fights. Munguia, they said it was a flop, and I see on social media people crying about it 89, 90. Well, look, everything's double. People are really smashing it, saying that they're not spending that. And it's like, come on, man. I predict it'll do well just because it's Mexico versus Puerto Rico, but people are going to spend the money. People get together. That's the whole point. Boxing in my household was an event. Chavez, De La Hoya, even Mayweather. We bought Manny Pacquiao Mayweather, but it was an event. It was a time to get together and watch some fights. Yeah, Blaze, they said 550K is a flop, but at 90 a pop, it's still making a ton of money, and people are paying Canelo Alvarez the money that he demands, right? But what I notice about the Mayweather effect is that what people hate on Canelo Alvarez for, they gave Mayweather a pass, right? As far as the triangle effect, Mayweather's famous for saying that I fight for checks, not legacy. That was a big thing that he preached, and he said, Mayweather never went undisputed. That's another thing people forget. Mayweather never went undisputed because at that time, from my memory, it wasn't about the belts. It was about the names. So if Mayweather fought Cotto, nobody cared. It was a belt. If he fought Andre Berto, nobody really cared. Berto had a decent name, ex-champion. He had some great fights with Victor Ortiz. When he fought Victor Ortiz, Victor Ortiz was a name. Victor Ortiz had already lost, had already quit against McDonald. But, it was really about the names. Mayweather also said, as far as checks, he fights for checks, not legacy. He's bragged about money. Mayweather created it's about the bag. Here's Shakir Twitterson. Yeah, we just heard Shakir Twitterson go on a rant when people shitted on his Joe Cordina fight. He said, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. It's about the bag, not legacy. They know they're going to make money if they get their people to fight at Mexican because the Mexican fan base is shelling out money. Yeah. I mean, Mexicans are rabid boxing fans, right? Most champions right now, currently, I think the Japanese have more. But as far as buying power and who actually buys the fight, it is the Mexican fan base, Latino fan base. You're going to have Edgar Berlanga, who is Puerto Ricans, and Puerto Ricans used to have a fan base. Not so much, I think slowly they're going to get behind Berlanga. But yeah, man, the Mayweather effect was that A side, B side, triangle effect. I make the most money. I fight for checks, not legacy. But when Canelo Alvarez does it, right? If Canelo Alvarez decides to fight for a check and says, I don't give a fuck about legacy. I do what I want. Then it's a problem. Mexicans are the only group of people that keep the sport alive. Well, and advertisers know that Berlanga fight not selling. Sergeant, it looks that way because here's the thing, Sergeant. Anybody on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, these people don't buy the fights. We're all on social media. We're all, I guess, technologically savvy. But look, man, these guys say they're Haney fans. They say they're Earl Spence fans, Tank Davis fans. But their fights don't sell like Canelo Alvarez. So, Haney Regis Prograde sold 35K pay-per-views. So, these people don't buy fights. So the people that are saying it don't buy the fights anyway. I always try to say that. The people saying, oh, it's a shitty fight, I'm not buying it, they were never gonna buy it. It's like looking at a dime piece. You ever had that one friend, you're looking at girls and, oh damn, she's fine. Oh, go spit. And the guy says, nah, it's too easy. I get her easy. She's too easy. That one guy that does that, oh, I don't need to buy a designer because, I'm not into it. Even though if you gave them as a gift, they would sport it like hell, right? People say these things to like kind of sound like a hipster. It's cool to shit on Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. But these people don't buy the fights anyway. That's the thing. I'm not buying anything besides a Canelo fight. Yeah, man. I mean, look, like I said, it's an event. It's an event. It's a time for place the people to get together and watch some boxing. Most people that are casuals anyway. If Canelo Alvarez sells 500,000, if he sells out the arena, it's his fan base anyway. They'll buy whatever he does. So the people who don't really support boxing. And like I said, if it was not the piracy era, if this was 2011, 2014, Canelo Alvarez is still probably hitting 700,000, 800,000. I want like when he fought Caleb Plant, 800,000. Boom, pandemic. Then people start to pick up on how to stream, how to pirate, things like that. Canelo's numbers been going down. Sergi a hater. Yeah, well, you know what, man? Look, it's all opinion. It's all opinion, right? But the numbers don't lie. If Canelo Alvarez does 500,000, that's the other thing, Sergeant. If Canelo does 500,000, they're gonna say it's a flop, even though nobody else is coming close to that. So you pirated? Yeah, I remember you could, but it's just like today. Like, look, man, streaming is not 100% guaranteed. Blacks are not going to buy a fight; they rather buy some 800. Remember, Puerto Ricans got money too. Yeah, Berlanga has a whole country. If the internet wasn't around, Tank would have surpassed Canelo in pay-per-view sales. You think so? It's hard to say, man. I think he does better. I think if it wasn't the streaming era, then yeah, everybody would do better. Maybe boxing would still sell a lot of pay-per-views, but with pirating and streaming pay-per-view, the whole model is done, and we're seeing it. So it's not just, if you're harping on Canelo's numbers going down, everybody's numbers going down, and the prices are rising. But if he fights David Benavidez, then it's probably a super fight. So we gotta wait to see, man. But I'm gonna wrap it up here, man. Hit the like. We've been going an hour and a half. Nobody else wants to hop on. Then I'ma hop off. We were talking about the Mayweather here since nothing really is going on. Only thing coming up is Pacheco Sulecki, which should be a good step up for Diego Pacheco. What else is coming up? Dan Berlanga, Canelo. But yeah, boxing is kind of a lull right now. I just wanted to talk about Mayweather since he's going out super bad, fighting trash fights, fighting refs mid-fight, real WWE shit. But Mayweather is not, that's not you getting viewers. It's because of you guys, man. You guys are pushing the shit, man. Thank you. Pause on that. Peace to you in the chat. Yeah. We're getting up there, man. We got to hit the like. That's all we got to do. Hit the like. As long as we engage in the chat, we're doing it the right way, not getting into too much politics or other things. People like to troll and talk shit. Man, I mean, there's a time and place for it. But over here, man, want to give you the good boxing news, talk some boxing when we have it, right? When we have it, DAZN is raising the prices. Canelo Berlanga is expensive, yeah, man, not a lot of boxing on. But yeah, Mayweather effect, man. I mean, did he duck Manny Pacquiao all these years? Was he a fraudulent hype job, ducking a lot of fights? Pudo would disagree. He says he really didn't duck a lot of people. Some people would say he ducked Paul Williams, Keith Thurman and things like that. But all right, guys, it was a good. Thank you, everybody. Pound, Promethazine, Abel, Eric Gomez, Sargent, 18th Street. Yeah, man. Hawker's a real one. OG Blaze. Yeah, man. We kind of run the course on the Mayweather effect. Hopefully, we got some things accomplished. But all right, fellas. We're going to be getting out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Get some good food. And hit the like, man. We out.
I don't give a fuck if they call me a torta, a motherfucking beanie cheese taco, a number 5 supersize the motherfucking fries. I'm gonna wear what I want.
Okay, it's time for workout number 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stay focused. Okay, it's time for workout number 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Guys, I got a nickname at work today, and I'm like so excited because everyone has a nickname there, and I didn't have one, and now I finally feel like I fit in. So my nickname is Pendeja, which apparently means beautiful in Spanish, and they're like,